Yeah.
Hey yo, man, it's your time. And fuck poverty. Get this money, man. Fuck you gotta do. You know what I'm
What's
saying?
up, everybody? Welcome to the Phil and Leroy Judgmental Podcast,
What's up, everybody? This your boy Phil in the house.
and I'm Leroy. So we got a little TikTok clip here. It's shout out to the TikToker. Her name is the Milk Marie. That's spelled Milk Marie. She says yes, she got 3 kids by 3 different dads. Shout out to Anton Davis. Anton Davis is becoming the third member of the Judgmental Podcast because he always play this shit, and I'd be like, oh man, these people are crazy. I think she has kids by a rapper or rappers. I'm not really sure. So listen to this, and shout out to these people too who have all their business out on social media for us to see and hear. I guess it's an age thing. So here we go.
For some reason, TikTok just do not want me to say what I need to say. But
And why is that?
I'm gonna say it anyway because that's who I am.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna get straight to the point. If you new here, you gonna learn something today.
Oh
The
shit.
lesson of the day is milk is an open book.
It ain't the only thing
Milk is
open.
truth. I'm gonna jump right into it though. So last night, y'all know we was talking about the club situation, and I stated that I wouldn't date a strip club nigga. Like, they just not something to date. So somebody took it upon themselves, like they always do.
Well, my thing is, she sounds Southern. So Southern men is that's like the strip club is like embedded in the culture, right? Because they'll just go to strip clubs, is like just meet up.
Yeah, well, that's everywhere now. Well, it's been like that for a while though.
Right.
They follow me on every platform just to talk shit, which is crazy, and think that they are taunting somebody when they really not. Like, you can't tell me nothing about myself that people don't already know, or that I don't mind telling them. Yes, I have 3 kids. Yes, I have 3 different baby daddies.
Well, high standards.
But I was also in relationships with every last one of them.
Well, see, she told you something different. She she got
Bullshit.
three baby dads, but she was
Bullshit.
in relationships with all 3 of them.
Bullshit.
But my thing is, she looks young in the face. So how long was these relationships? for her
She
to
was in the bed with all 3 of them. She wasn't in no relationship.
be-
My first little girl down there out the way, big, that didn't work. My second little girl, 11 years old. After that, I dated Quan. Y'all may know him as Rich Homie Quan. We was in a long relationship, on and off. And when I say long relationship, I'm saying like we went together back in the days when he had braces. Okay, that's
But what about those 3 other
I was
men?
about to say the same thing. So where these other bulls come in the mix at?
that's how long ago that was. Then we dated when I was like in my early mid-20s. Okay, cool. Then it just went on to another relationship.
Damn, how old is you?
Right, because then she said her first kid, she's big and out the way. So what age is a child big and out the way?
I don't know. It got to be an adult, right? 18, 19 or something.
Right. Does she look like the age to have an 18-year-old?
Well, no, but she also said like something about in her mid to late 20s, like it was in the past. So, well, how old is you?
Right.
I had no kids with the guy that I was with last. And then my last baby dad, okay? Remind you, my little girl is 11 years old. Y'all on here thinking the bitch got 50 kids back to back. Like I got a 1, 2, and 3-year-old. Like I'm just hopping from man to man that fast.
You are.
But what difference does it make at the kid's age? The bottom line is you got 3 kids. And if a man want to be with you, he got to deal with you and your 3 children. I don't care how old they are. They can be 30 years old. He still got to deal with you and your 3 children.
Mm-hmm. And if he want to take you seriously, he going to want to have a kid with you.
Right. That's funny because Maisha used to say that. And she said, well, look, my kids are almost grown. They were like, at that time, they were like 17, 18. They weren't The oldest one is like in his mid-20s now, but he was like 17, 18 around that time. I said, okay. I said, okay, Maisha, okay, uh your child is grown, out of the house, got his own life or whatever, his own family, whatever. Let's say, God forbid, that there's a fire in the home and they have to evacuate. Now they don't have no place to stay. So where you think they're gonna stay? They're gonna stay with you, right? And she said, yeah. So I said, so the dude's still gonna have to deal with you and that child and your child and his family. What he gonna tell you? No. At the catastrophe that just happened like that, what he gonna tell you? No, you can't stay here. Well, I don't know where you're gonna stay, but you can't stay here. So he still got to deal with you and your children.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and if you want to know why, I probably do, because I'm not finna stick around. I learned a lesson from everybody. Like, I'm not finna keep having kids with the same nigga that's not doing anything for the kids. That's just not. I ain't finna do.
So she's not with the third baby dad, the last baby dad. So what is she talking about? She ain't with the three men that she had children with.
Exactly. So she got 3 different baby dads, and they ain't doing nothing. But she not about to be with a dude that ain't doing nothing. That's what it seems like. That's what you like.
Yeah.
Y'all be in these relationships trying to make it work or trying to stick around and be a family for a man who don't want to be a family or a man who don't take care of their kids. Bitch, if you don't get up and get in the field.
Oh my goodness, this girl is
I'm
so
just
damn
leave a nigga where
dumb.
he at. Miss let a nigga be. I'm not finna bother with none of that. Not doing none of that. So when y'all get on here, or when you get on here, because 9 times out of 10, it's a nigga, y'all. That's all it is. Like, I just don't get it. I don't know what you call somebody that do stuff like that. I don't get it.
My thing is, when it comes to these young girls, they going to see this, see or hear it, and they're going to think that she's talking with some intelligence. What's wrong with working out, trying to work out a marriage or working out a relationship with somebody you have children with? Look, I don't have no kids and I'm not married, but I would better off to try to work a relationship with a woman I have kids with than just being out and about like that. And in terms of like, unless she was like cheating or some shit like that, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
Or she was like a drug addict and stealing money and all that stuff.
I'm an open book. When I turn this app on and off, I live in my truth. When I'm on here, how I act is how I act offline. And anybody who know me can vouch for that. But you know what? I ain't gonna even go on and on. I just wanted to address that and just let people know that, like, I live in my truth. I am my open book. If you want to know anything about me, you'll know.
Just go to the
You
strip
gonna know.
club.
I have no secrets. I have no shame. I love kids. I'm very fruitful. Like, some bitches can't even have kids out here
She's
that
very
want
fruitful. You
kids.
sure
It's a
is, girl.
blessing to have kids. And I'm not getting unaliving none of my kids to make nobody happy. And everybody I got a kid with wanted a kid with me. We
But
don't
they didn't want you because y'all not together anymore.
She full of shit.
start
They
there.
wanted to hit it raw. That's all they wanted.
Hmm.
Okay? I ain't bringing nothing in this world about nobody who don't want it. Hello? So when y'all think y'all got tea, you drinking piss.
What the fuck is she talking about?
That's it. That's all.
One of them type that like to hear
That's it.
themselves
That's
talk.
all.
You said Anton
Message of
Daniels
the
did
day.
a show with this?
Yes, but
I didn't
see,
see that.
he doesn't play the whole clip like we doing now.
Mm-hmm.
He'll play like a minute or maybe 2 minutes of it and
Mm-hmm.
start talking shit about it. He like, well, look, I can't do this anymore. All right,
Right.
y'all join
Yeah.
it. That one of those type of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Live in your truth and know that I'm an open book. Can't nobody tell you nothing about me but me. Hello? Thank you.
Right, we going to New York, New York, where our favorite former lieutenant, Quathisha Epps, says light on her department's overtime abuse scandal. Now, this is the one where she's talking about her abuse of the clock, or overtime clock. Here's the report.
Last night at 11, we heard for the first time from the NYPD lieutenant who is accusing the former chief of department of sexual harassment. And that was only part of the story. Lieutenant Quathisha Epps is also at the middle of an NYPD.
No, actually, that's the main part of the story because she got in trouble for overtime.
Overtime scandal that has shaken up the department. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles has the rest of the story.
I did not sign off on any of my overtime. You cannot self-certify.
During fiscal year 2024, Lieutenant Quathisha Epps more than doubled her salary with overtime, taking home $406,000.
I can explain my overtime. I don't know if he was willing to explain my overtime.
But that's only half the story, according to an EEOC complaint she filed in December that says her boss, former Chief of Department Jeffrey Madry, demanded monetary compensation in return, including requiring her to fund a trip to Miami for him and his wife.
He says that, you're going to start cutting me some of that overtime. So I would give him money. There was a day that he had me in his office after the bar exam. He told me to call his wife, act like I was like giving them a gift of, a gift of something. It's like $3,000.
Did you give them that $3,000?
Yes, I did.
Oh, give me a break. What woman? So you gonna call his wife and tell the wife that you giving her husband a gift of $3,000? Did that make sense?
The thing is, she probably did do that because my thing is, it was all a hustle.
Right.
This guy was making sure she get all this overtime. He said, well, since you're getting all this overtime and killing the game, you're going to need to throw me a kickback. And he probably had a couple of people doing the same shit. And that shit probably happens everywhere.
Yes. But I'm thinking like the wife already knew about it anyway, because that don't sound right. That I'm going to give your husband a gift of $3,000.
Well, the wife probably didn't know. So if you get some money in your bank account, and y'all got a shared bank account, $3,000 from blankety blank, the wife would probably be like, where the fuck does money come from? What's this about? So if you say somebody gave me a gift or fucking, I don't know, a birthday gift or something, it might be a little different.
But
that's like bullshit to me though.
Exactly. Does that sound believable? Like you said, the wife might not have known, but he just might as well should have told the wife, I'm getting some money from people overtime. Why not? Why lie about it?
Yeah.
Epps says it was during this time period that she was being sexually harassed and assaulted by Madry, and what her attorney.
So he's sexually harassing her and having sex with. She doesn't want to have sex with him, or he was giving her oral or whatever type of sex they was doing, and he getting her money from her too.
And see, that's the main story. The main story, she was stealing money. So now she's trying to change the whole fucking narrative, and let's talk about this guy sexually harassing me for all this shit. No, girl, you need to go to jail.
He calls a textbook case of predatory abuse and victim silencing, using coercion to obtain compromising material, then weaponizing it to instill fear.
When he says that he wants something, I'm supposed to comply with it. He'll say, go, close the door, and close the door strip and send me something.
While he's still in the meeting.
While he's still in the meeting.
Did you do it? Yes or no? Did you do it?
If you didn't.
There were not very many times that I didn't.
So she did it every time that he told her to do that.
Yeah, because she know if she wouldn't have did it, she wouldn't have got the overtime.
Right. Well, you know about the video. There's some freaky video out there that I guess it came to him and he passed it around to everybody else. So everybody already knew about it. What'd you say?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Because every time I see comments on this, I'm like, well, all right, so where's that video at? Well, how about that video that passed around all through people in the department seeing it?
So he read it?
No, no, I didn't really do any searching for the video. He told your ass to take them clothes off and send me some pictures. And she said, oh, well, I guess I had no choice.
And as the overtime scandal was brewing in December, Epps decided to file for early retirement, which would require approval by Commissioner Tisch to leave the department in good standing.
And then he says that he's going to go upstairs and talk to her. I'll go upstairs and talk to her. I'll go upstairs and come here. and pulls my arm, and he takes me by my neck, pulling my head like closer to his groin, and he says, "You just kiss it a little bit, just kiss it a little bit, and let me get my mind right, so I can get my mind right and go upstairs and talk to her."
1 month later, the Queens home of Marjorie searched by federal agents in this overtime abuse scandal that led to a shakeup in internal affairs. The chief and more than a dozen high-ranking officials NIA removed from their post. Marjorie denying the allegations of overtime abuse and sexual misconduct. His attorney telling Eyewitness News in response to this report, "We look forward to total vindication." Epps seeking the same.
Maybe in speaking out, maybe other victims will dig deep and find some courage in a place where I couldn't even find courage, that they may feel like they don't have to sit quietly in these situations, that this is wrong.
After initially being suspended, both Lieutenant Epps and Chief Marjorie have retired from the NYPD without any departmental charges of overtime abuse.
Yeah, let me get out of here before the heat start coming down. That's what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Marjorie, however, is still under investigation by federal authorities who have contacted Epps about their investigation. Darla Miles, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Sound like they just some office freaks, and they was doing freaky stuff to each other. I don't think he was well, they banging and she tearing up the clock. So, he gonna look past all that stuff because he getting some. So I just believe that they were just office freaks with each other, and they're in the office together, and he's like forcing her. So she implied that he tried to force her to do oral sex on him. They're in the office. Why don't you holler and say, "No, stop, get off me," or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, when we say a police station, this is like would you say a corporate police station office, not like a regular precinct?
Right.
So this is like a corporate police office. Man, there's people all around everywhere.
Yep.
And he forcing her head down there for oral sex. She should say, "Stop, no, hit him," or something. To run out the room and holler or something. There's a whole bunch of people around.
Mm-hmm.
They just some old office freaks, old ones too. I'm shocked because it's normally like young girls, and all of a sudden that they go at it. But this is an old freak. And who knows? She probably didn't bang other people in the department anyway that he already know about.
Yep.
Well, all right, we going to Phil, we got another Tiffany Henyard in the works. Tiffany Henyard lost both of her positions too, by the way, her mayor and her board of trustee position.
Mm-hmm.
So she lost both positions this week. But we got a new one coming up here, Lynwood, Illinois. We got Lynwood Mayor Jada Curry is taking home triple the amount in the budget for her position. So she's taking home triple the amount. Here's the report.
Cleaning up.
A big show of support. A South Suburban mayor up for re-election next week is feeling the heat from her residents and questions from our news team.
We spent months trying to get a simple answer about her salary. CBS News Chicago's Lauren Victory goes on the hunt for answers.
Morning, Mayor Curry. Morning. I'm great.
This interaction is months in the making. CBS News Chicago heard from residents that Lynwood Mayor Jada Curry is taking home nearly triple the amount that's in the budget. Our calls and emails asking for an explanation didn't get us too far, so we took a trip to the south suburb.
Can we talk to you about some questions circulating about your salary?
We sent over a statement to you all.
A statement that led to even more questions about how taxpayer money is being spent in Lynwood. More on that after some quick history. In 2021, Jada Curry ran for village president, aka mayor. Well before the election, this ordinance drastically reduced the salary of its next to-be-determined mayor. $85,000 a year dropped to $20,000. We know Curry knew about the pay cut because she was a trustee, and her vote is recorded right here, opposing the $20,000 salary.
You just made $93,000.
Now fast forward to 2025.
Do you have an explanation for that?
I'll take your question and follow up with you. Thank you.
Curry.
How are these small little suburbs or townships or whatever you want to call it? How in the world is the mayor making that much?
Colwyn, Darby, look it up, Collindale.
Right. How are they making that much?
All got shady motherfuckers. I'm thinking the government must give them little cities a kickback or something.
Right.
is running for a second term. Her first mayoral campaign on a platform of transparency.
Transparency. Is that what you call ignoring public records requests? CBS News Chicago had to get the Illinois Attorney General involved to compel Lynwood to comply with the law. It took the village nearly 2 months to hand over Mayor Curry's payroll records.
Here's what we finally learned. Curry brought home almost $100,000 in 2024. She's currently paid to be village president, 20 grand, cannabis commissioner, 5 grand, liquor commissioner, 10 grand, $35,000 in the budget. So where'd the extra?
Ain't this all those positions? Isn't that a conflict of interest? For her to be a mayor and a cannabis and liquor commissioner, that seems like that's like a conflict of interest.
They sure don't know how to double dip, boo.
Cash, more than $60K, come from?
What do you say to people that are confused about what you're being paid?
I've given you your written response.
That written response mentioned earlier does account for the additional money. She's paid for meetings, we were told. It's right there on Curry's pay stub, $2,500 every 2 weeks. Wait, a mayor paid for meetings?
Making a decision about these kind of perks of the office, that you get paid for extra work that is in fact part of the job description.
David Greising spoke to us in general.
So she getting paid for a meeting, whereas though she got to be there anyway.
Is she paying herself?
I guess. I mean, the township or the suburbs money, $2,500 for every meeting she go to.
See, my thing is they have trustees and treasurers and all that shit. Somebody else got to be involved for her to be getting this money. And they're supposed to say, well, damn, she getting all this money. We got to stop this or have a meeting about this shit. But for it to keep going on, that means it got to be somebody else in cahoots with her.
Hey, that's the same thing we said about Tiffany.
All about public official salaries. He heads up the watchdog group, Better Government Association.
Typically, the mayor doesn't have the right to raise their own salary.
Would you like to sit down for a formal interview?
Curry literally closed the door on the opportunity to explain where in the budget it says she's supposed to be paid $65,000 a year to go to meetings. Her representative later sent us the previous mayor's pay stub to show he too was compensated for meetings. Ah, yes, there it is, a whopping $900, not 65 G's. Lauren Victory,
$900 for the year or for per meeting?
For the year.
Okay.
Now she's getting $2,500 per meeting.
Shit, inflation.
Curry's representative tells us her meeting pay is part of a $372,000 allocation labeled administrative salaries. At least one trustee who voted on that same budget tells us she's never heard of meeting pay.
All right, the next video is the township is coming to support the mayor. She's in the right, and I didn't see this, but I can guarantee you the gender.
We already know.
All right, here we go.
A big show of support in South Suburban Lynwood, where the mayor is up for re-election. After our report last night questioning the mayor's nearly $100,000 salary, a village board meeting was packed tonight. As our Asal Razai shows us, many say she deserves every penny.
Inside the board meeting here tonight, we saw several rounds of applause and standing ovations, one after another, longtime residents voicing their support for Mayor Jada Curry. A crowd of Mayor Jada Curry's supporters packed Village Hall Tuesday night. A regularly scheduled board meeting overwhelmed with the show of support.
Can we talk to you about some questions circulating about your salary?
It comes after our Lauren Victory pressed the mayor about her salary and why she's taking home nearly triple the amount that's in the budget. We know before she was elected 4 years ago, an ordinance drastically reduced the mayoral salary from $85,000 to $20,000 a year.
Mayor Curry has never lied to you.
Current and incoming village trustees making a statement at Tuesday night's meeting, highlighting all the improvements Mayor Curry has made to the village.
I see the difference.
Followed by at least a dozen longtime residents echoing that.
That ain't the point. She might have made a difference, but the point is that $60,000 can go somewhere else.
Yep.
Sentiment. Outgoing trustee Rolanda Clark says she'd like to see more transparency when it comes to Mayor Curry's salary.
It wasn't about her salary. Okay, $95,000 for 10,000 residents, still a lot. What the debate is how you went about reporting it to the Illinois Municipal Retirement Board.
LaRoyce Clay Williams has lived in Lynwood for over 30 years.
The reason why I came out tonight specifically was because
LaRoyce, is that a female version of Leroy?
Yes.
Boy, that's so old school, LaRoyce.
because of the footage that was aired the other day.
She says with Mayor Curry, there is no lack of transparency.
I seen what it used to be. I see what it is now. We've come a long way.
Mayor Curry.
I figured exactly what I figured. Who was going to be going to be sitting there doing interviews about it? 90, almost $100,000, and it's only 10,000 people that live in this little area. Come on now.
Closing out the public comments portion of the meeting, saying she is humbled by the support and that she's only focused on the job at hand and will not be commenting on her salary from this point on.
They've been on the board. Answer me this question. Why now?
Mayor Curry recently won the Democratic primary here. She is on the ballot for the April 1st general election. Unless there is a write-in candidate, she's unopposed and likely to win. Reporting from Lynwood, I'm Asal Razai, CBS News Chicago.
Yeah, that's our Tiffany Henyard. Our new Tiffany Henyard.
Hey, if the city still supports her and she win a re-election, they need to just leave it alone. My thing is, it's fucked up that the salary was $65,000 or $85,000, and then as soon as she get in office, it's $20,000. I mean, did they tell her that before she ran?
Well, remember, she signed in. She was on the board. She signed for that.
No, she didn't. She fought against that.
I thought they said she signed for it.
Nope, she fought against that.
When we go back,
you can go back for yourself. I know what I heard. She was on the board.
A South
right,
Suburban mayor up for re-election next week.
Hold on, let me find it. Hold on, is this it?
Their money is being spent in Lynwood. More on that after some quick history.
Wait a minute, did I pass it?
Drastically reduced
All right, here we
before
go.
the election. This ordinance drastically reduced the salary of its next to be determined mayor. $85,000 a year dropped to $20,000. We know Curry knew about the pay cut because she was a trustee, and her vote is recorded right here, opposing the $20,000 salary.
Okay, she opposed it, but she knew all about it though. But the thing is, she knew all about it. So why would you even want to be married?
No, so it was proposed. So that don't mean it was like in effect. So maybe she was running thinking like, well, I denied it, so maybe somebody else will, and it won't go in effect. So then when she won office and found out that, okay, well, now it went in effect, and now it's 20, she's like, well, what the fuck? So now she got to figure out other ways to get that weight back up. They shouldn't have did that. And the same with, I can understand if the last guy wasn't getting paid nothing for meetings, then she's totally wrong. Now he got $900 for the year, so that means they do get paid for meetings. Maybe they got more money coming in now, so that she get higher pay. You know what I mean? Of course she's fucking scamming because it's way too much money for a fucking small ass mayor to be making.
Right.
But if the city wanted her there and she won the vote, then it is what it is.
So we going to Louisville, Texas. I'm about to say Kentucky. Louisville police officers allowed suspect prostitutes to touch them sexually for as long as 20 minutes and even recruited fellow officers to go undercover on stings with the promise of obtaining sexual favors on a public dime. They didn't have to recruit anybody. They already knew what was up. They ain't had to recruit anybody. Those guys were chomping at the bits to go undercover to get these prostitutes. So here's the report.
And untrained. For nearly 2 years, Louisville police used questionable tactics to arrest women for prostitution until the cases fell apart and the officers themselves were investigated. Tonight, the I-Team with an inside look at how all of this happened. Our Andrea Lucille with the story straight from the men at the center of all of this. Andrea?
A warning that some of what you're about to hear is graphic. The report on
graphic, then why are you playing it on the news?
Louisville's internal affairs investigation that we were able to get a hold of fills more than 2,000 pages and includes dozens of hours of recorded interviews. We have spent weeks digging through them, trying to figure out how this all went so wrong.
Did you think getting naked was a good idea or a bad idea?
I didn't know whether it was good or bad. I didn't, like I said, I don't know how to work them.
Nobody came in and said, hey, this is how you have to do it. Nobody knew how to do it.
These are the...
Oh, you watch enough TV. You watch enough TV to know to know what happens undercover there. You know them dudes don't be taking no damn their clothes off.
Voices of Louisville PD's Street Crimes Unit. Officers tasked with helping tackle prostitution at massage businesses with what they describe as little to no guidance.
I don't remember the exact words, but I'm sure he was like, hey, they're going to touch and a lot of them will touch your butt or anus or whatever.
It was never like a sit down meeting and said, hey, you and you, you're good with getting and you and you're not. And so this is how we're going to split the teams. But it was very unspoken that, hey, some guys think it's fun and they're going to go do that thing and they think it's hilarious and whatever. The people that weren't were pretty vocal about it.
From October 2022 to July 2024, detectives visited different locations, posing as customers willing to pay for sex acts. But an internal investigation found in many cases they went too far.
You agreed to $400 to both of them. Excuse my language, but I'm just reading what's in the report. So there's your probable cause, right? Okay. But then after that, you stay and you ask them to get undressed, and they're naked and they're massaging you and grabbing your.
We don't just walk out.
Why not? You have enough.
I don't know.
These guys are
motherfucking red-handed.
Yep. Well, I don't know what's going on. Well, props to them for being all cahoots and on the same team with each other. They're not going to. I don't know what happened. I don't know what to do. Nobody ever told us.
Nobody trained us. So hey, look, we were just winging it.
Right. Now, what the hell? There's a whole bunch of TV shows and all that stuff. You seen people undercover. Where you see those guys, they get naked and get
endings and shit.
Right.
As soon as she's touched you, that's enough right there to just say, hey, here we go. We got them.
Right. The hell, as soon as they started agreeing on money, that was enough.
Taking their clothes off. They had so many opportunities to fucking say, I got enough right here to charge them.
Yeah.
He said, no, they probably look good too. He was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for mine.
Wasn't just the Street Crimes Unit either. Detectives recruited others within the department, including a rookie patrol officer.
Go get that pussy, man. For free.
Yeah, nut too, because he was a rookie. You supposed to get some. I'd be like, I ain't fucking around. I'm gonna be here for a little while. If I do fuck around, at least I have some years under my belt.
He like going to get that thing, man. Please, just go in there, act like you got undercover.
Who'd never been undercover.
He said, since it's your first time, we'll take it easy on you. So we'll go over here. There's pretty girls there.
He was given city money, a recording device, and a few instructions.
You need to make sure that she offers it to you. Go ahead and give it to, show how much money you got or whatever. And then if she touches you, let her touch you. And then once she touches you, you can break contact.
What caused you to go over 4 minutes of getting a hand, almost 5 minutes?
That hand job.
That shit feel good.
Was that hand job?
Yes.
Okay. So what the hell? Now he's a rookie. That he know good and well that you ain't supposed to get no damn hand job from a prostitute for 5 minutes.
For all that, he could have just been off the duty and used his own money. Now you using company money and equipment. You're supposed to be undercover and you fucking getting hooked up.
Right.
If your instructions from them were that once the deal's made and they touch you, you need to break contact.
I was trying to ask her questions as far as like, hey, what's your name? They didn't ask me to do that. They didn't ask me to get her name. They didn't ask me to get any of the questions I asked in the recording. That was just me trying to be proactive.
So I remember when I first started doing vice investigations, I was more nervous going in to a massage parlor and then I was driving up and trying to buy crack on the street corner.
Oh shit! You must be kidding. I would rather go in a massage parlor than going to try to get crack with somebody because you can get robbed. That's them trying to stick with the Blue Shield or whatever. Come on now. I'm like, look, that seems like that's an easy job to me to be going to massage parlors and all that stuff, busting prostitutes.
Mike DeMarcus is a retired detective and the director of Law Enforcement Training Associates. The company trains police across the country. He says it's essential to have every scenario mapped out and every question answered ahead of any undercover operation.
Hey, how far can I go? What can I say? What constitutes entrapment? What's not entrapment? That kind of thing. And see, and that's the big discrepancy around the agencies throughout the country is some agencies are allowed to do one thing while others aren't.
That holds true here in North Texas. The I-Team surveyed more than a dozen agencies across DFW and found about half have conducted undercover operations at massage parlors in the last 2 years. Those that do don't follow the same rules. We obtained undercover policies for Arlington, Dallas, and Fort Worth. All 3 departments require investigators to get permission from superiors before going into a situation where they would undress. But the level of nudity and the amount of touching allowed varies.
Is physical touch ever necessary, though?
Sometimes it is. And it sounds weird to say that. Yes, but like I said,
because it got to be necessary because you gotta catch them going over the line. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes the girls will make hand gestures, like, hey, indicating sex, but sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll, go and they'll stroke you automatically. Then maybe they start doing this as far as money.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Lewis.
Look at me talking like I've been there.
Smell doesn't have a written policy. Detectives say they were just told to go as far as they felt comfortable. No one up the chain of command seemed to know what was happening, even though some employees say it was an open secret.
They're bragging about everything that they got done to them at the massage parlors.
A record.
Of course they was.
Snitch.
Right.
All the guys sitting around chilling and she ear hustling going snitch.
Right. Now she broke the blue wall, the blue shield, but all the other guys, they staying in cahoots with each other. Oh, I didn't know what was going on. We weren't trained to do this.
The thing is, they was busting these girls, but they was going a little overboard before they bust them. So they was banging them and getting hand jobs, letting them finish, and then say, "Hey, you locked up." You know what I mean?
Right. With the company's money or township money. So in other words, they got all that stuff done for free.
Clerk said she overheard the pitch as the detective asked a male clerk to go undercover.
If you want to come and see for yourself and see what you can get done, we'll have you go out.
Look at her. They like, look, if you want to get some.
Male clerk. So all the guys in the office was all cool with each other and cahoots and hooking each other up, and she was sitting there in the corner fucking getting mad and shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't until last summer the Denton County District Attorney's Office raised the alarm, rejecting 22 prostitution cases Louisville police filed. Undercover officers, it complained, had let things escalate into sexual contact with suspects, making it difficult for prosecutors to make a case in court. The department then launched.
Now the wives hear all this stuff, and all they're going to say was like, "Hey, look, I was undercover."
Launched its own investigation.
We're looking for some insight because we're also trying to wrap our heads on how did the PD get to this place where this has been going on for 2 years.
I don't know if you really want my personal opinion.
Yeah, sure.
I think they weren't supervised, and I think they went wild and do whatever they wanted to, and they went in there to get and realized they could, and about every other time they wrote it down.
Nobody had enough ethics to go, this sounds like we need to be looking into this. No one did. Yeah. That's the problem. So what's the fallout going to be? Because nobody was man enough to stand up to it.
3 officers were fired, 8 others were disciplined. We reached out to all of them, but many of them.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they got fired.
Well, that's the ones that the snitch said they asked her who had that conversation.
Right.
She pointed to them, so that's how they got fired. Everybody else
Yep. Everybody else stayed with it in the blue shield, and she didn't fuck everything up.
That's why when men doing dirt like that, you can't be talking about stuff like that around no female.
have appealed those disciplinary decisions, so they're not releasing comments at this point. The police chief, by the way, turned all of this over to the Texas Rangers to see if criminal charges were warranted. None were filed.
Of course it wasn't.
Exactly.
Right. Of course it wasn't.
Again, we're talking about police officers and their conduct. So how does this police department, Louisville, still not have a policy for undercover prostitution investigations?
Yeah, good question. The chief tells us there will be a policy, but it is still in the works. He's also reorganizing the street crimes unit, and he says it will not include any of the officers who were disciplined.
And what happened to the women who were involved in all of this, who were initially, were they arrested?
Go back to that fucking club.
Yep.
Yeah, those charges were dropped, but there's also the question of, are these women victims of trafficking? We found city leaders and police officers have different opinions on that. We're going to get into that in our story tomorrow night.
Andrea, Lucia, we thank you. We certainly appreciate it. Oh.
So shout out to Louisville, Texas.
Having a good old time.
Yep. So we going we going to Miami.
They probably be about to clock on. They were like, "Oh, you going home? You want to go out for drinks?" She said, "No, I'm gonna hit the spot first, and then I'm gonna go home."
Yeah,
you just how I went.
And the wives is like, "So what, was you cheating on me?" Like, no, this was undercover. I wasn't cheating. Like, look, I had to do it so I could bust them. Yep. I had to get a hand job for 5 minutes because I had to bust them for prostitution.
No, baby, they exaggerate. There wasn't no 5 minutes. As soon as she grabbed me, I bust her.
So we go to Miami-Dade County, Florida. 2 county inspectors accused of extorting local businesses for cash. Charles Bryant and Greg Bethel work for the Department of Regulatory and Economic Resources. Investigators said they took more than $14,000 from local restaurants and businesses. Here's the report.
Corruption case charges. 2 Miami-Dade County inspectors arrested accused of extorting local businesses. And local 10's Leah
mafia type shit.
Yep.
On the operation that led to their arrests.
Like, yeah, just say like it's like a group or a club, and we just like all look out for each other. I mean, you pay the money, and like we just all look out for you. L and I coming over? No, L and I ain't coming in here.
The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says that these 2 corrupt county inspectors were targeting family-owned businesses like the restaurant behind me. Rosie Cordero Studs saying that tackling public corruption is a priority for her as sheriff.
It's an important issue in our community, and it is not going to be tolerated.
Miami-Dade's sheriff and state attorney announced the arrests of 2 county inspectors.
Look at the brothers doing it too.
Damn, fattening their pockets.
Of extorting local businesses for cash.
They felt like they were being robbed.
Charles Bryant and Craig Bethel face multiple charges, including organized fraud and unlawful compensation. Both Bryant and Bethel worked for the Department of Regulatory and Economic Resources. Between the 2 of them, investigators say they took more than $14,000 from local restaurants and businesses.
They lied and said that there was a violation, and then the extortion occurred.
A May 2024 tip from Shinju Japanese Buffet in Southwest Miami-Dade led them to Bryant. Restaurant owners told him
Asians weren't going for that.
Yep. See how they stopped the brothers from making a living.
Bryant told them they had a leaky grease trap and would fine them $50,000. That is, unless they paid Bryant $2,000 to make it go away.
The threat was made in a similar fashion.
That sounds like a deal to me.
Yep.
I'd have like, I need to see in writing that it cost $50,000 for this fine. And if they showed me, I'd have been like, who to? And then that'd been that. If I do got the leaky trap, grease trap. But if I don't have it, I'd be like, man, get the fuck out of here. My shit is cool. Bring somebody else in here to look at it.
Of these businesses.
Deputies say Bryant did something similar at neighboring Jamaica Kitchen. Investigators say the resulting operation, known as Operation Grease Trap, linked Bryant to 4 more local restaurants and unearthed alleged crimes by fellow Inspector Bethel, accused of shakedowns at 8.
So Bethel was the one that was getting it. The other dude, he only did like a couple of restaurants.
Yeah, the other dude, small time. He big time right here, Bethel.
Yep.
My thing is, all these this is Operation fucking Grease Trap. all these operations, they businesses, they really do got grease trap problems.
Mm-hmm.
So then what's the deal? Because okay, so you getting him for his fraud shit, but you still should get shut down for your fucked up grease trap violation, right?
Right.
Just because they was wrong don't mean you're not wrong either, or in violation.
Mm-hmm.
Local eateries.
What we're looking for are other potential victims, but also other potential corrupt inspectors.
You need to retire.
Officials fear this scheme could go even further.
And so it's so important our community understand that if you have that information, please come forward.
So if you're a business owner and believe you've been victimized in a similar way, perhaps by the same people, you can call one of...
They're not victims, though, because like you said, something was probably wrong with the grease trap or whatever in the business.
And these places get shut down for this. So you think about all the money you're going to lose doing that.
Right.
I be looking at the ones from our county and shit every now and then when they show them, and they have the same thing. They be having like the grease trap leak or the grease trap overfill.
Right.
2 numbers on your screen right now. Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office's Public Corruption Hotline at 305-599-3121 or the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Corruption Hotline at 305-547-3300. Both men have been booked into jail and are expected to appear before a judge as early as tomorrow. For now, reporting live in Southwest Miami-Dade, Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
What the hell is her last name? Because she got Spanish at it. She got Spanish on that one. All right, then. Well, you can reach the Judgmentals on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube at PNL Judgmentals, Instagram at _Judgmentals, or you can email us at pnljudgmentals@gmail.com. All right, then.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Most of y'all is associates, so I be on my dolo. Hold up, woke that, whoa, hold the phone. You think all I do is rap? I can do it on my own. That's why I produce the